Let's get more now from Las Vegas, where in the next hour, Floyd Mayweather and Manny Pacquiao will face off at the weigh-in. Let's cross to Fraser Dainton, who's live in Las Vegas. Fraser.
Very warm welcome from the MGM Grand Garden Arena. The weigh-in is almost upon us, less than half an hour. Delighted to say that I'm joined by Jim Watt and Carl Froch. Jim, first of all, we have been involved in some big events over the years. This is off the scale, isn't it?
Yeah, this is the biggest event I've ever worked on. I've worked on some huge events, but we have 10,000 people here for the weigh-in, and probably none of them have a ticket for the fight. It's amazing how many people just want to be in Las Vegas. They're dreaming about getting a ticket when they get here, but it's not going to happen. But they just want to be in Las Vegas when this fight takes place. It's amazing.
Anything up to $350,000 for a ringside ticket just to be here for the fight of the century. Carl Froch is with us as well. Carl, I mean, you're weighing for the time when you fought George Groves for the second time at Wembley. There were probably about 4,000 there at the Wembley Arena for that, but what about this here tonight?
Well, the whole Wembley Arena, you know, Wembley Stadium event was a massive event. The weigh-in was fantastic, and the fight out was great. I mean, an event me and many boxing fans will never forget. But this is, as you say, off the scale. I mean, I don't know how many's here, 16,000 for a weigh-in. I mean, my first world title fight against Jean Pascal, which was some fight, let me tell you. I mean, Jim Watt saw the fight, and I mean, 6,000 people for a fight of that sort of scale. For a weigh-in, it just shows that this really, really is a massive deal. And it's getting bigger and bigger. Tomorrow is going to be just madness. I can't wait.
We certainly can't wait either. Manny Pacquiao has already arrived here at the MGM Grand Garden Arena. We can show the shots of him arriving now. He's looking very cool, very relaxed, and as you can see, tucking in to what looks like a pretty high-calorie looking bit of, what is that, Butterfinger cup or something. It's chocolatey anyway, put it that way. So clearly no problems whatsoever as far as his weight is concerned. We knew, Jim, that he was likely to be coming in light, anything up to 4 or 5 pounds under, and that would say to pretty much everybody that he's going for speed in this fight.
Yeah, of course he is. I mean, he's a different fighter to the one he was when we first started talking about this fight. Back then, he was a freak of nature. He was knocking out welterweights and light middleweights. Now he's dealing with speed. He thinks he can outspeed Floyd. We expect him to win very light. I'm looking forward to finding out exactly what he does weigh in.
Fantastic atmosphere inside the Garden Arena. Let's head down to the floor position and find out the views from there with Adam Smith.
Thank you, Fraser. It is a bear pit of world champions all around us. Marco Antonio Barrera, the legend, just over there. Eric Morales, we've seen Tyson, Lewis, Holyfield, and Johnny and Glenn.
Well, the short straw.
For that, yeah.
This is a fighter's beer fest. It's a food festival for us. It's everything you'd ever expect for a fighter to wake up and have a dream. This has got to be the best dream.
Manny Pacquiao's arrived. Floyd Mayweather, as cool as a cucumber, turning up with a few people around him.
Well, he's done it before, hasn't he? He knows, you know, this is made for him. This is his sort of arena. This is where he wants to perform, and he wants to put a great show on.
Mayweather's been here many, many times. It's his home. Pacquiao too, though. They've experienced this all the time through their careers, but 16,000 people at a weigh-in, they haven't done that.
16,000 people. This is Mayweather's 11th consecutive fight here at the MGM. Me and Carl were walking through the back as the trucks came through. I think they nearly ran us over at Mayweather's team as they came in. What an entourage. Manny Pacquiao, we saw his mother and his wife come in earlier on. They've sat down and got their good seats in the house. This is an event for them as well. I think Manny Pacquiao will enjoy the occasion just like a fan. He'll get on the scales, have a massive smile on his face because the hard work's been done.
Johnny, you've been here all week. How have they been taking it? Do you think this extra bit of pressure?
This is pressure. I don't care what experience these guys have got. One human being can handle such pressure. So it's a case of who can keep that poker face on, whose armor, who's going to see a chink in whose armor. I think this is the most amount of pressure any fighter could ever have. I think the most relaxing part is when they're in the ring and the bell goes.
Pacquiao's in the building, Mayweather's in the building as well. Michael Buffer behind us. He's announcing the others on the show, and everyone's just waiting for this.
Of course they are. Everybody's just, you know, there's some good fights on the undercard, but everybody's here for the the biggest fight in so long. World champion
Andre Berto just walked past us.
Andre Berto's coming in.
Showtime, Sean Porter, too.
We've got Sean Porter, Andre Berto, they're just all around us. It's unbelievable. It really is, isn't it?
You know what? I think someone just pinched my butt. Heaven, it's just the best place ever.
What do you expect, Glenn, when they get on the scales? What do you think is going to happen? Pacquiao light, Mayweather strong, powerful.
You know, I was quite surprised by rumors that Pacquiao was going to be late, which tells me he's going to go for speed. He's going to go to try and throw lots of punches, not going to try and push Mayweather around. So we don't know what sort of fight we're going to get, but listen to this.
Manny.
I think we're going to see the Manny Pacquiao that boxed Austin De La Hoya. Work on speed, work on angles, in, out, not messing about at all. I think that Manny Pacquiao beats today's Floyd Mayweather, and that's what he needs to do.
I think just
Yes,
behind us is
Deontay
Deontay Wilder, the world heavyweight champion as well. You had a chat with him, Glenn, didn't you?
I did, yeah, lovely fella.
Deontay, how you doing?
Deontay.
Say hi to the UK.
What's up, UK fan? All my Bomb Squad fans. What's going on, baby? Yo, I love you guys.
You're a fight fan here for this,
I'm a
aren't
fight fan here as well, too. You know, all the excitement, the adrenaline rush, man, it's so exciting. If you're not here, man, I'm sorry, man. Y'all missing out, but maybe next time, though. But, oh, man, how y'all guys doing?
you? We're great, actually. The heavyweight champion of the world and former. We've had Tyson, Lewis, Holyfield. They're all here. Absolutely brilliant. I tell you what, we'll crack on here and we'll speak to you soon. Weighing in a few minutes. Back to you in the studio.
Really is a who's who out in Las Vegas right now. And we heard from Froch moments ago saying that this was way off the scale and that thousands were, as you could see there, already awaiting both Pacquiao and Mayweather ahead of that weigh-in. Manny Pacquiao's taken the time to tweet. And, as you can see here, this is a little selfie that he's put on Twitter, and he looks very relaxed, doesn't he, with his team Pacquiao all awaiting that weigh-in. He does look very happy and very relaxed ahead of that weigh-in, which, of course, you can see live on Sky Sports News HQ.
Welcome to the fight capital of the world, Las Vegas, Nevada, USA. We are at the MGM Grand Garden Arena for the weigh-in of Floyd Mayweather versus Manny Pacquiao, the ultimate competition which everybody has been talking about for weeks and weeks, ever since this bout was announced. We have the unbeaten champion, Floyd Manny Mayweather, 47 fights, 47 victories, 0 defeats, against the only man many people believe can beat him, Manny Pacquiao. World champion at no less than 6 or maybe even 8 world weight limits, depending on whose belts you take a lot of notice of or not. The two fighters have been very, very calm so far. I'm joined by Jim Watt and Froch here on the stage. Jim, what have you made of just how calm these two fighters have been throughout this week?
Well, I mean, this is a fight that's been talked about for 6 or more years, so it doesn't need built up. I mean, there are no unsold tickets. And they've both been very respectful to each other all through the build-up. They're both very experienced at the top level, so I don't think there's any point in them trying to score points off of each other, psychological points. And I think Floyd Mayweather, who sometimes likes to be the bad guy, is conscious and aware of how popular Manny Pacquiao is, so he doesn't want to be the bad man this time. And I think that's a wise decision. I think they'll be very respectful during the weigh-in.
Carl, as I say, very, very calm so far, but surely they are going to be affected by an atmosphere like this tonight.
It's going to be difficult to not be affected, but they've both been here before. Not at this magnitude, obviously, but they've been at world title fights time and time again. They know what they need to do. They're just going to concentrate, focus on their tactics, on what the job they've got to do tomorrow, and just remain calm, not make too big a deal of it. I don't think we're going to see any commotion today at the weigh-in. I don't think there's going to be any pushing and shoving. I think it's going to be a very professional weigh-in, no complications, and they should both come in on the weight quite comfortably, I think.
We saw Manny Pacquiao arriving a little earlier on. He was quite happily munching away on something that looked very chocolatey, very nice. So no problems in the weight as far as he's concerned. Freddie Roach has told us he's expecting to come in at least 4 pounds, perhaps under the weight limit. He's going for speed. That's exactly what we want to see from Manny Pacquiao.
That is what we expect to see here. Pacquiao probably looked at Mayweather's last 2 fights against Marcus Maidana, who, let's face it, is a pretty crude performer. So I think they reckon they can do what Maidana done, only do it 5 times better. Mayweather will struggle to cope with volume of punches, and I think that's the plan for the Pacquiao camp, to keep throwing punches. Thinking fighters like time to think and time to react, so they want to deny him that time, and when they set the pace and stay on him, and Manny Pacquiao can do that for 12 rounds.
Carl, you've been hearing the whispers from within the Mayweather camp about the fact that his training has been slightly different this time around. He's been doing a lot more work in the swimming pool. He's also been out chopping logs quite a lot as well, so it would appear that he's going for power, which again is what we'd love to see from Floyd Mayweather.
Yeah, it would seem he is. It would seem that Mayweather, you know, he looks the bigger man, he looks the bigger, stronger man in the face-off, so they're both going to come in comfortably on the weight, but I think Mayweather is coming in bigger, stronger, heavier, and I think they realise as a team, and as the camp realised it, he's getting older, and with age, his legs are going to go away from him slightly, so strengthen the legs, make the most out of the power and the punches, you know, chopping the logs, doing the swimming, which takes the pressure off the joints, gets the heart and lungs nice and strong, and builds up the strength. I did a lot of swimming and a lot of baseball batting on an old tractor tyre, which is similar to chopping the logs, and it helps with your punching power, so, you know, the little whispers and the word around the campfire don't mean a great deal, but you can take a bit from them. Mayweather may stand and fight a lot more than what we've seen him do in the past. We'll be meeting Pacquiao as he comes. I think Pacquiao's going to be looking for a faster work rate, in and out with his effective angles, and Mayweather probably is going to be trying to nail him.
The crowd are going absolutely bananas here at the MGM Grand Garden Arena. The noise is deafening. It's a fantastic atmosphere. Let's get the view from down on our floor position and rejoin Adam Smith.
Fraser, I could just about see you. I don't think I could hear you then. It really is goosebump stuff. The atmosphere electric in here. 1,000+ media probably surrounded amongst us with fellow fighters. Andre Wall's just there, but the fans, let's talk about them, and they're very pro-Pacquiao.
The fans are getting everything they want. The voice of Dougie Fresh, if you're into your hip-hop, rap, or everything, that's a guy that's pumping the crowd up. The fans are far, far back in this arena, and you're thinking, what can they see? Everybody got a smile on their face. The noise is deafening in this place, and they know they're witnessing something very,
I mean, how many Filipinos did we come to that rally the other day? There was probably 2,000-3,000 there. Double, triple, quadruple that. Pacquiao support phenomenal.
Pacquiao support is second to none. This guy gave tickets away. You know, he's making sure people realise he's a people's person. Because if you want to come to the fight, not the average man can buy a ticket for the fight. He's making sure the average people see what he does. Come fight now.
There's plenty of people here as well to see Floyd Mayweather, a winner, 47-0, and here to perform.
Yeah, whether you dislike him or like him, you can't ignore him. He's 47-0. He's pound for pound the greatest fighter there is. So, you know, he wants to put a tremendous performance on here. He can't see that. He can't lose that zero. He needs to win. The fans are right behind him. And I've been at some big events. De La Hoya used to fill the place, but there were normally women. But never scenes like this. And you know, you go to Lewis Tyson in Memphis, tremendous scenes, tremendous way, and loads of people, but still nothing like that. And that was the heavyweights.
This was Tyson's home as well, the MGM, but he couldn't fit it like this, anything like this for a win. Let's just quickly talk about the glove row, because there's got to be a row about gloves, hasn't there? Pacquiao, of course, the raised gloves. Mayweather, grant, but specially made, specially designed. Freddie Roach wanted them tested. They passed.
Adam, it's a fight. It's a massively important fight, so there's got to be rows about something. What's good to see is that even at their mighty level, they're still ready to have a little row. They still want a bit of gamesmanship, and they're still trying to get the edge.
Your friend Nassim Hamed had problems with his gloves, didn't he, when he was beaten by Barrera in this very arena?
It makes no difference. They're trying to make something of nothing, trying to rattle the other camp. That's what they're trying to do. Pacquiao with the race, he sounds like he wants to be a banger. If Mayweather wants to have the Grant gloves on, he wants to box, he wants to be smart. That's what they want. It kind of shows an intention what they want to do. But if you're arguing about the gloves, it's a nothing argument. Trust me, it means nothing.
Psychological mind games, physically, do we expect perfection?
I think definitely. This is for both fighters. They're going to give everything they possibly can. This is their ultimate fight. This is a career changer. Mayweather loses or draws, catastrophe. He's got to win. You know, defeat is just not in the script. Pacquiao, this is his chance to upset the odds. He wants this desperately.
Johnny said TikTok all week, weighing after the break.
Very warm welcome back to the MGM Grand Garden Arena here in Las Vegas. The stage set with around 16,000 people crammed in for what is the final hors d'oeuvre before the main course. Floyd Money Mayweather taking on the scales Manny Pacquiao. The fight of the century we have been waiting 5-6 years desperately to see is finally here, and this is the last act before the two square off in the ring itself. I'm joined by Jim Watt and Carl Froch. And Jim, just give us a flavour of the atmosphere that you're feeling right now, because this really is quite the most incredible thing I have to say I've ever seen.
Well, Fraser, I've been to some top-class fights that haven't generated this kind of atmosphere. This is hard to believe that this is a weigh-in that these people are attending. This is huge. I mean, people dream about fighting in front of a crowd this size. To generate this at a weigh-in, totally unbelievable. Never been seen.
Carl, what do you make of it? It's just amazing, this, isn't it?
It's absolutely phenomenal. I can't actually believe what I'm seeing. You know, we've got an MC on there. We've had some rapping earlier. There's just people going crazy. I think every member of every press association in the whole world is lined up. You know, I've never seen so many cameras and flashing lights for a boxing match. Boxing, I mean, I love the sport of boxing. It's one of them sports that sometimes slips under the radar, but when there's a big boxing match, there's nothing bigger and there's nothing better. And people accuse boxing of being a dying sport time and time again, and it frustrates me and annoys me, because I don't see the kind of sport that brings this kind of attention globally ever. This is just phenomenal.
It's one of those events that everybody will want to say, I was there. This is the scene now backstage, where you can see Manny Pacquiao, who arrived good and early and was very, very smiley. He's been relaxed all week. He was having a little snack before he made his way into the dressing room itself. We've got about a minute or so before the fighters actually take to the stage. Floyd Mayweather also arrived in good time. He was looking very relaxed too. The reaction from the fans in the crowd here has been quite incredible. Every time one of those two fighters has appeared on these screens, the place has gone absolutely nuts.
You know, I'm just wondering, this fight is taking place because of the Manny Pacquiao camp. They've agreed to everything Floyd Mayweather has asked for, the drug tests, the short end of the purse, supplying his own gloves. They've agreed to everything. So I'm just wondering now, who's going to be first on the scales? You know, they're both supreme champions. So I wonder if once again the Pacquiao camp have bent his way again.
We shall see. We are expecting Manny Pacquiao to come in a little bit light, under the 147-pound limit. He's about to take to the stage, and you know it's a big fight when you introduce Michael Buffer.
Here at the MGM Grand of Las Vegas, Nevada, USA, it will be champion versus champion. The welterweight titles will be on the line, but most importantly, the title of pound for pound, the best fighter in the world. At this time, please welcome to the stage the man whose credentials guarantee him a place in the Boxing Hall of Fame. 57 victories, 38 wins by knockout. He's the fighting pride of the Philippines, a record 8 division world champion, the reigning and defending two-time WBO welterweight champion of the world, Manny Pacquiao.
The pride of the Philippines, 64 fights, 57 wins, 38 wins by way of knockout, 2 draws, and interestingly, 5 defeats. The big question, is Manny Pacquiao back to his best? 3 straight wins since his last defeat. He had that controversial points loss to Timothy Bradley, and then that stunning knockout from Juan Manuel Marquez when the pair of them met for the 4th time. But Freddie Roach says that he's refocused, he is re-energized, he is back to his best. They have trained long, they have trained hard, they are training for speed in this fight. And the man who has the weight of the nation of the Philippines on his shoulders, getting a rapturous reception as he works his way in here to the MGM Grand Garden Arena stage. With his hands in the air, huge support here from the Philippines. He's given away, we understand, something in the region of £2.5 million worth of tickets just to his supporters. Never mind how much has been made on the ticket sales around this arena, with the 16,000 have been sold. He gets a huge ovation, as you would expect. Very, very popular. A generous man, a God-fearing man, a philanthropist, and somebody who knows exactly what the fans of the Philippines mean to him.
Yeah, well, most fighters come from behind the stage when they go to the scales. Manny Pacquiao comes right through the crowd, proving once again he is the people's champion.
Undisputed number
He comes
one.
to the weigh-in with a smile. That's how he goes to enters the ring, with a smile on his face. He loves everything about this.
He's a future Hall of Famer. A record of 47 wins and no losses. The renowned pound-for-pound great and pay-per-view king. The 11-time world champion in 5 weight divisions. Ladies and gentlemen, here is the celebrated boxing superstar, introducing the one, the only, Floyd Manny Mayweather.
Well, I'll leave it to you to decide whether that was a bigger shout for Floyd Money Mayweather than it was for Manny Pacquiao, but there is no mistaking he is the undisputed pound-for-pound #1 at this stage. Only Manny Pacquiao can decide whether or not that will be the case after tomorrow night. He is unbeaten, but Carl Froch, is he unbeatable?
No, I think we've seen in past fights where he's come close to being defeated. I talked about the Castillo fight recently, and if you watch that fight back and see the statistics, that's a fight that he was very, very lucky, very fortunate to get the decision. But since then, he put it right in the rematch. But this is a guy that at the minute seems to be flawless with his victories. He seems to be unbeatable. He can change. If he gets hurt, he can change the pace of the fight, the momentum of the fight, and turn it in his favour, regardless of what he's put in front of. If he's caught on the chin and wobbled, as he was against Shane Mosley, he knows how to survive the round and then change and do what he needs to do to get the stoppage. Looking at him and looking at his resume and seeing how he's performed through his whole career, it's hard to say this guy's Mayweather can be beaten. It's very difficult to say he can be beaten, but Manny Pacquiao, he's got the tools. It's just whether he can carry it out tomorrow night.
That is the big question. There is only one way, of course, to find out, and that is to tune in on Sky Sports Box Office tomorrow night for the fight of the century. We're waiting now for the two of them to get on the scales. Don't forget, this fight being fought at 147 pounds. That is the magic number to look out for. Total chalk and cheese characters, these two. Floyd Mayweather, he likes to be called money. He certainly likes to flash his money around. We were down at his gym a couple of days ago, and his girlfriend arrived in a white Rolls Royce. There were so many flash cars outside there. It looked like a showroom. And love him or hate him, he is, without doubt, the #1 in the world right now. Just look at the crowd behind him there. What an incredible sight. It's the kind of thing that we will remember for years to come. And fingers crossed, the fight is exactly the same. So here we go now.
Ladies and gentlemen, first up onto the scales will be the reigning and defending WBO welterweight champion of the world, the Pac-Man, Manny Pacquiao. 145 pounds, Manny Pac-Man Pacquiao.
Tense. Ten-stone 5 then, Manny Pacquiao. We expected him to be coming in slightly light, 2 pounds under the welterweight limit. And now we will see how Floyd Mayweather weighs in.
The world's highest paid athlete, the reigning and undefeated WBA and WBC welterweight and super welterweight champion of the world, Floyd Money Mayweather. Floyd Mayweather weighs in at 146 pounds.
Ten-stone 6 then for Floyd Mayweather. We have a fight, gentlemen. It is on. Floyd Mayweather just a pound under the limit. Manny Pacquiao 2 pounds under. Pretty much what we expected. Gentlemen, it is on.
Yeah, and they both look incredible. You look at Floyd Mayweather in particular, 38 years of age. Look at the body he has on him. He looks phenomenal. Manny Pacquiao the same. We expected Manny maybe to be a little bit lighter than that. But yep, the fight of this century is on, both comfortably inside the weight. All systems go.
Carl, the both of them look absolutely ripped. Nothing less than we would expect. Nothing less than what the world expects to see now tomorrow night.
Both superb athletes, both made the weight, very comfortable. We expected, as we've said, Pacquiao to come in a little bit lighter, which he did. But Mayweather, a pound under the limit, both look in phenomenal shape. And as you said, it's on. All we can do now is sleep on it tonight and look forward to what's going to be an epic battle tomorrow.
Before you get your beauty sleep, there's one thing left, and that is, of course, the final head-to-head stare down. We've been waiting for this for many, many years. For the pair of them, the stand, toe-to-toe, eye-to-eye, for the last time before the fight itself. Carl, you've been there many a time yourself. Describe the emotions that go through a fighter when you are standing there staring your opponent in the eye.
If you're relaxed and comfortable and confident, which I'm sure both these gentlemen are, then, and there's no needle in the fight either, I don't think there'll be any problem. It will literally be very respectful. I can't see a problem.
Here we go.
Nothing going off. Mayweather usually tries to get a little something stirred up, but as we can see here, they're just very, very cool and calm and just doing what they have to do.
This is it, ladies and gentlemen. The noise inside the MGM Grand Arena is deafening. And look at them, a little nod from Manny Pacquiao. There are flashes from cameras going off by the 1,000 behind them. This is it. This is the fight the world wants to see. The fight of the century. We will finally find out who is the #1, pound for pound, best boxer in the world. So, we are going to get ourselves back into position to chat about what we've just seen, because it's in pretty much as we expected. But by the same token, the atmosphere was absolutely incredible. It was electric. There was such an air of tension in the place when the two fighters eventually squared off. We're just making our way back now. In fact, I think we're going to throw down to the floor to get some reaction with Adam Smith, Johnny, and of course Glenn. Boys, how was that for you down there?
Absolutely phenomenal, just feet away from the action, and both of them looking absolutely tip-top and tremendous.
I'm totally gobsmacked. Both athletes looked in supreme condition. I thought Manny looked a little light until he dropped his trousers, and you see the size of his legs, massive, reminded me of Prince Azim Hamid. That's where his power came from, his speed came from. Upper body light, so he had the hand speed, the power for the lower body. For Floyd Mayweather, he's always looked in condition from day one, from this fight being announced. Supreme condition.
Glenn, let's talk Pacquiao first. What a reception. A whole ring walk that he's got to do again tomorrow. Absolutely brilliant, wasn't he?
He is.
And on the scales, the legs especially.
You know, he is the people's champion. Everybody really likes Manny Pacquiao. You know, he's such a great fighter and a great champion. But I was very interested standing next to Andre Berto, Andre Ward. When Manny Pacquiao got on the scales, they were saying, back to the old, you hear them excited saying, that's the old Manny, it's the old Manny.
We can't hear much, but Mayweather's with Jim Gray on the scales, just by them up there.
That was very interesting, Floyd. Manny Pacquiao said thank you to you, correct?
I don't know what he exactly said, but you know, my thing is to focus on what we got to do tomorrow.
Did you respond?
No.
What is your mindset as you come into this fight? Yesterday you said it's getting tougher and tougher to go into the gym. Now as the fight is near, what is your frame of mind?
My frame of mind is just to be smart, you know, listen to this man right here, because without my father, I wouldn't be where I'm at.
Do you still feel that you have never wanted to win a fight more than this one, as you have said to me and others earlier in this promotion?
I think all 47 fights played a major key. I've dedicated myself to the sport of boxing for over 20 years, and I'm ready.
Do you feel as though Manny Pacquiao might do something reckless tomorrow night that you'll be able to take advantage of?
I can't really say, but you know, I'm ready to fight.
Any predictions?
Who's ever watching, buy pay-per-view.
MGM Grand, what's going on right here? What do you think of this atmosphere? Would you have ever believed that something like this would have come to fruition?
It's an unbelievable turnout. You know, I'm glad that all the fans, you know, came here to support myself and to support Manny. Now it's time for us to go out there tomorrow and do what we do best.
Floyd, thank you. Best of luck.
Thank you.
Talk to you tomorrow night. Let's send it over to Max Kellerman.
Manny, did you just tell Floyd Mayweather thank you?
Yes, thank you.
What are you thanking him for?
Thanking for the fans that the fight will happen.
Floyd has said that when you were at the Miami Heat game, he noticed that you were sizing him up and you noticed the size advantage that he has. You just had another chance to size him up. What do you think?
Well, I think I believe that the fight it must be happen because the fans deserve it. All the fans deserve this fight.
What did you think when you sized him up? When you looked at him, he says that you noticed that he's bigger than you. What do you think about that?
You know, it's not. I've been fighting bigger guy like Margarito De La Hoya. It doesn't matter to me.
A lot of people wondering if you can be that dynamic, attacking, knockout artist again. How do you feel about that?
I feel tomorrow that the Lord, you know, is always with me and strengthen me, and He will deliver him into my hands.
A lot of fans here, both for Floyd and for you, and obviously a lot of people around the world, especially in the Philippines, rooting for you very hard. What responsibility do you have to these fans and to your fans in the Philippines?
I know this is a great responsibility for me to give enjoyment to the fans, and this is for me. I believe that the fans deserve it. Tomorrow, the fans deserve to have a good fight. Is that either you're a fan of Mayweather or you're a fan of Manny Pacquiao, you deserve to have a good fight tomorrow.
Thanks, Manny.
Well, what an event it has been here at the MGM Grand Garden Arena. Guys, it has been absolutely spectacular. We've really enjoyed it. Thanks very much indeed for your company. Manny Pacquiao saying to Floyd Mayweather, thank you. Can you believe that? Well, it is all on. The weight is made, the belts are up for grabs, but far more than that, the title. Finally, we find out who is the #1 pound-for-pound best boxer in the world. The fight is on. Welcome back to Las Vegas. We're hoping that we will be speaking to the man himself, Floyd Money Mayweather, very, very soon. Carl, it was quite an incredible weigh-in, wasn't it? The atmosphere in here was like nothing else we've probably seen. I think it even bettered yours at Wembley. I've got to admit, sorry to have to say that, but I think it's probably true.
No, definitely. It's chaos. It's still going off behind me now. I mean, people are trying to get up on the platform here. We've got Floyd Mayweather just to our right, and everybody wants to talk to him and get a piece of Money Mayweather, and I'm not surprised. This is just phenomenal. This is the biggest thing I've ever been involved in boxing, and I know I've boxed in front of 80,000, but for a weigh-in, and for the, you know, people are turning up to Vegas just to watch it on screen because they want to be part of the whole event. So it's like the Money Mayweather effect. But Manny Pacquiao, it seems to be the fans' favourite for this. Everybody seems to want him to win.
Well, he is just about making his way over here. He's actually taking a microphone now. Floyd, welcome to the stage. Thank you for joining us. You're live on air in the UK. We know you love your UK fans.
I love my UK fans.
What is your message for the UK fans who are going to be tuning in tomorrow night?
Thank you for supporting me. I appreciate it. I had a tremendous camp. But, you know, for 19 years as a professional, I wouldn't be where I'm at if it wasn't the support from the fans.
You got there with a lot of hard work and dedication as well, let's be honest.
Yes. I pushed myself to the limit. I believed in myself. I believed in my skills. And my job is to go out there and be the best Floyd Mayweather that I can be.
Have you had to push yourself even further this time for this fight? Everybody that we talk to says that, yeah, Floyd is putting in a little bit more work than usual this time around.
Oh, well, I tried. I worked hard. So I feel good. So we just see how everything plays out tomorrow.
But at the same time, is that an idea of just how seriously you are taking Manny Pacquiao?
I take every fighter serious. That's why I'm 47-0. And I'm not overlooking this guy. I'm gonna take my time and go out there and be smart. You know, this guy right here is a hell of a champion himself. You know, one of the guys of our era. You know, but you know, I only got one more fight left. After this fight, 19 years, I had a great career.
Carl, do you want to ask Floyd Mayweather a question?
I wanted to ask you, Floyd, if you don't mind. In my last fight, before I knocked out George Groves at Wembley Stadium in front of 80,000 fans, I worked a lot on power. So I did a lot of swimming, and I chopped down a few trees myself. And then I held my feet, and then I knocked him out. And I'm not known as a one-punch knockout, man. Have you been doing that yourself a little bit?
Yes, I've been
working on power.
I've just been swimming this camp. You know, earlier on in my career, I had a lot more knockouts to where, you know, later on in my career, my hands had a lot of wear and tear. You know, after 30 years of fighting, of course, your hands and your body going to have a lot of wear and tear. So my hands took a lot of wear and tear later on in my career, and fighters, when I would beat them, they would go into survival mode just to survive.
Okay.
But we've been swimming. We've been also working on chopping trees, so hopefully everything plays out like it should.
I just want to know if you're looking at the knockout or not. You're probably not.
Oh, yes, absolutely, yes.
We know, Floyd, that you've been training very, very hard for this one. We know that unbeaten record is very, very important to you. Just going to get a little bit of water for Floyd. What would it mean to your legacy if you were to beat Manny Pacquiao? Because as much as he is a great fighter, a lot of people are saying he is probably the best fighter other than you.
He's a future Hall of Famer, just like myself. He's a solid competitor. We both got here somehow, some way. So the timing is right. The timing is now. And we'll just see how everything goes.
Floyd, we wish you the best of luck. Thank you very much indeed for joining us. Good luck for the fight tomorrow. So there we have it. Floyd Mayweather, and he had a few kind words for you as well, didn't he?
No, he did. It's amazing, you know, somebody in Floyd Mayweather's position can recognise someone like me from little old England across the Atlantic. They just think we're a little island that floats somewhere in the sea, but, you know, he appreciates his British fans, and British fans, like he's a money man. He sells the pay-per-view, and he thanks the fans for that, which is nice to see. It really is.
Great to see him, and a great weigh-in it was too. Fingers crossed we might hear from Manny Pacquiao as well. But that's pretty much it for the moment from Las Vegas, from up here on the top tier. The weigh-in has been completed. Both fighters have come in. The fight of the century is on, and it's only on Sky Sports Box Office.
Yeah.
Manny, you've made the weight. You're all smiles. How are you feeling?
I feel relaxed, I feel confidence tomorrow, and ready for the fight.
Why did you thank Floyd Mayweather at the scales?
I think he's a little bit worried because he will face I'm different for to the 47.
It seems like all week you've been feeding off the fans and enjoying the attention and the atmosphere.
Yes, I'm enjoying to the fans because that is the tournament. A lot of fans coming here in the win. So, how much more tomorrow?
People talk about the pressure, but are you enjoying the occasion?
I'm very enjoying.
Give us a little insight into what your tactics will be tomorrow night.
Tomorrow we have a lot of different techniques. We practice in the gym, and I think more aggressive and timing. Aggressive that defense, not careless, too much careless. And I think we will do our best in training.
Is it a fight you think you can win on points, or do you need a knockout?
Either points, we focus on that. We make sure that every round we're ahead of points.
How confident are you of getting the victory?
I'm very confident.
So here's the tale of the tape. Mayweather is 38, 2 years older than Pacquiao. He weighed in at 10 stone 6 pounds, just 1 pound heavier than Pacquiao. Mayweather has had 47 fights. That's 17 fights less than the Filipino. He's won all 47 of them, while Pacquiao has won 57. Pacquiao has drawn 2 fights from his 64 and lost 5, with 3 of those defeats coming by knockout, most recently against Juan Manuel Marquez in 2012.